All right, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, part two of East Coast Comic Con. Fantastic con, loved it. Go back and watch if you're interested. It was all just my voice in the first part one, whatever. No books have been shown yet, but come Saturday, again I'm busy again. I thought, and Perez, it was again the VIPs get in a half hour before the con. The con opens up at 10. 10 o'clock. I'm already in there at 10 o'clock. I remember it being roughly, it was like 10:05, 10:06. I'm over. I darted over to Desert Wind because I'm like, I want to get my Joe Sinnott books processed and handled and autographed and submitted and all that good business. Excuse me. I'm over there with that. And it must have been about 5 or 6 minutes after 10 o'clock. And they already said that the George Perez line was capped. And I was losing. I almost lost my mind. I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. My wife was like, oh, are you serious? It's like, dude, the con just opened to 10, and we didn't even get a chance to go there and wait in line before they capped it. So I'm just like, you know what, forget it. I had two books that I wanted. Actually, I had two books I wanted to submit for Perez. That I wanted to get graded. So I just turned them into Desert Wind. They're like, well, they didn't guarantee anything, but they're like, we'll try to get them autographed for you. We'll try to handle it for you. That's what we do. But we can't guarantee it. No problem. So I just left the two books with them, hoping I'll get Perez on them and get them autographed and submitted. Because it's like I didn't want to go through the whole Perez thing again because I was still trying to get my Joe Sinnott stuff. I had a few other books I just wanted from a couple other guys in the area as well. That was Saturday. And as I'm over hanging out at my second home away from home, or I could have been far from home actually. I was a little bit far from home like Spidey. Maybe not that far. I wasn't over in Europe, but at Desert Wind and going through my stuff. Getting stuff set up, and a gentleman approaches me, and I turn around to look, and it's Reaper Tate, and I was stoked. I was like, oh wow, hey, how's it going? So it was really cool to have a conversation and even meet the guy for the first time. Reaper Tate, I believe it's Reaper Tate 728. Fantastic guy. It was very cool that he came out. He went out of his way to come meet me because apparently he had met Murph, I think, for the first time. And then Murph told him, hey, if you want to go meet A.G. Surfer, he's hanging out at Desert Wind. Everyone knew I was like Desert Wind. I was posted there. I was just set up there because I was doing quite a few submissions. So for Reaper Tate to come up to me, come out of his way and come say hey to me, that was awesome. Really appreciate meeting Reaper Tate 728. And then Friday it was Friday I met Jeff Johnson, the mayor, and Joe Graham 121. I noticed those two NY Warriors. They were in the line Friday for George Perez. Erod 212 was also there. I think I had a moment. I got to meet Erod 212. Very cool. And his son. That was Friday and even Saturday. And then Saturday you had more of the NY Warriors that were there. It was Big E's and Markey. I think those were the next two. Yeah. It looks like hopefully I didn't leave anybody out. Big E's and Markey, I guess, were the ones that showed up on Saturday, and then you had still Jeff Johnson and Joe Graham 121 and Erod were there. So just fantastic beating all these guys. And Big E's, man, like the first time seeing him, I was like, holy crap! And he I think he even I don't know if I think he maybe freaked out a little bit too when he saw me, and I was surprised that he kind of remembered me. I guess we never really. I think we conversed off air years ago, like when we used to do those hangouts. I think GPAP used to have those hangouts, and those private hangouts. And I think that's where I remember probably, maybe that's where Big E's had seen me for the first time. I'd seen him in his videos and whatnot. But it was very cool meeting these guys. And Big E's, I don't know. It was like just walking up to him, giving him a big old hug. And I'm like, hey, dude. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. It's like, you're real. And he's like, oh, you're real too or whatever. And it was really fantastic just having a moment with Big E's and even talking with him for a little bit. And then amongst the other NY Warriors for a moment as well, on Saturday. And we all kind of were just, saying, hey, what are we going to do after this? Maybe we can go get a bite to eat type situation. We can hang out. We can see what's what. And maybe most of us can meet up and eat somewhere because I know we're all going to be pretty hungry. Big Lion Cat, another cool guy. And just like the name, Big Lion Cat, he's a good-sized guy, a good-sized gentleman. You see these folks in their vid, and sometimes whether we're sitting down, we're all sitting down, most, So you don't know how tall someone is or whatever until you meet them in person. But Big Lion Cat, very cool guy. Thoro Kubaro, it was awesome. It was nice meeting him for a moment too. He was walking around filming the con, talking, and then me and Murph would hang out waiting for Joe Sinnott on Saturday, and Murph knows more folks than I do. He's met some folks in the past and be at other cons. And Tom Ryan was one of them, so I got to meet Tom Ryan for a minute. Tom Ryan, very cool guy. Francis McMiniman. Francis, again, nice guy. It was great. I mean, these guys all had, yeah, they all have nice comic books, man. They all have nice comic books, and we're all just talking shop a little bit, and some of the crazy stuff and the shenanigans going on in the con. So it was great. Meeting Jimmy C for a brief moment, because everyone knows Murph. So yeah, let me go ahead and show off some books. So prior to the con, when I spent a few days in New York, I had the opportunity to go to Midtown Comics and check them out. And that was actually on a Wednesday of New Comic Book Day. So I just picked up some books from them. These are, I guess, like the battle lines. I really like the Black Cat one. I got the Star-Lord, man. Star-Lord. The Gamora. I got these top loaders too because they actually sold, they have really good supplies as far as Silver Age top loaders, Golden Age top loaders, and I like the Silver Age. The Black Widow. And that was it. And then I looked at the stuff up on the walls and their back issues, and I was like, I didn't want to, my goal wasn't to go there and spend, I needed to save my money for this con right here, man, East Coast Comic Con. So, but I did pick this one up off the wall because I liked the cover and the price wasn't bad. Batman number 50, those variants, but it's the Michael Turner. So that was my big spending book right there from East Coast Comic Con, or sorry, Midtown Comics in downtown. It was like in New York, downtown New York. Very cool place. New York's a hopping spot. Yeah, it's a city. Cities are all a little different, but it's still a city. Because these were some of the books I'd gotten signed. I didn't submit. Fantastic Four 64 signed. I got Joe Sinnott to autograph that one for me. Really happy about that. And the guy's just he's an amazing guy, Joe Sinnott. Fantastic Four 74. I like that silver. And the paint pens, you got to be careful. Take time to dry. If things get bumped, things get smeared. So they're tricky. Sometimes they turn out better than others. Sometimes, not so much. It's what happens when you get autographs. Thor 151. I like that. I guess they call this AG Blue. I like that. Joe Sinnott's got one of the best autographs in the business. Those older gentlemen really take their time with the penmanship. Joe Sinnott and Joe Gila. Fantastic. Larry Hama. Fantastic. Gosh, who else? So many guys. Thor 168. That's what they call a Sue Storm Blue. The Aqua. Joe Sinnott. And Joe did a couple of Spideys. I guess this was maybe the only one I grabbed out of my collection that I had. But ASM 178 in red. And then with Murph actually, like I said, Murph took care of a book for me on Friday with Perez. So I got one book signed by Perez, a loose comic. Because I had, I ended up with like 20 books or something. I bought 20 loose books to get signed by Perez. That I wasn't going to submit. And so Murph got one of them done for me. And then, Cholula had a heck of a time on Saturday, trying to knock out as much as he can and do what he could to get his Georgia Perez's submitted. That he was only planning on Saturday, I believe. So he actually came back early Sunday, like right when they opened, and he was going to be there for part of the day on Sunday because I don't think he was coming home till Monday. And so when he said he was heading back the next day, he's like, "Hey, I could try to get a couple books, for Perez if you like, and submit them." And so I gave him, I gave him one book. I'm like, "Yeah, if you don't mind, I didn't want to." I'm like, "Here, just go for the one book if you can." And then I said, "Hey, well," and I thought about it when you're over there, because a book I should have picked up at Joe Sinnott's table was this Fantastic Four 645. Already signed. I think this was $30. But you get this nice certificate and everything. Because Joe was charging $10 if it wasn't graded. If it's graded, it's $20. So, but I think this was 20. I don't know. Was this 20 or 30? I forgot already. So I asked Chula if he wouldn't mind picking that book up for me, and he was awesome. He hooked it up. Besides taking care and getting the one George Perez I wanted to get submitted, he took care of that for me, and then he hooked this up big time. And I believe he's got a video out as well, and I believe he picked one up as well. Smart move. Because Joe Sinnott had a lot of the True Believers, which are actually, those are nice books. They're dollar books, and the books he had on his table, they weren't beat up. They didn't look beat up at all. But he had a lot of those True Believers already signed, and those were $10. So you're getting a comic book and an autograph for $10. And the True Believer stuff was awesome. Obviously, Iron Man 55 was in the mix. There were some FFs in there. Whatever True Believers that had come out, So that's pretty much it. Oh man, I'm already 10 minutes in. That's it for the part 2. That's it for my trip to East Coast Comic Con. Yeah, it was such a blast. It was such a phenomenal trip. And we actually did on Saturday. We actually did go out and we all had a nice meal somewhere. Mainly it was at the NY Warriors. Like all the NY Warriors were there that I had mentioned in the previous. Big Lion Cat was there. I know, of course, Murph was there. Sean, his buddy Sean, his son. Cholula showed up with his cousin. Gosh, I'm hoping I'm not leaving out court. Marky 316, You'd Ride 212, Big E's, Jeff the Mayor Johnson, Joker M120, M21, and Big E's family was there. So it was a great time. That was at Wingstop. Was it Wingstop? It was my first time being there, so I'm not real familiar, but I believe it was Wingstop, and or something like that, or something Wings. It was cool food, great place. It was just great hanging out with those guys and having a big meal, and just hearing all the stories and getting a chance to really sit down and we broke bread, I guess, so to speak, a lot of us, and we had a good time just sitting there having a good meal and talking and hearing stories. So again, looking forward to going back next year. Already got it planned out pretty much. As it gets closer, obviously, we'll do our best to. I'll do my best to get back out there again, because it was a blast hanging out with those guys and going to that convention. So thanks for all the folks that still hang around and maybe check out my vids. Thanks for all my subscribers. Probably don't say it enough or at all, but thanks to all the folks still hanging around. Appreciate it. And I know I should start making. I've got when the books come in, and I've got more vids to come, and I've got some slabs. I've got some things I still have to show. I'd like to show off and discuss. So I appreciate all you folks, and take care.